a Bold for Christ YouTube channel. Felt compelled to do a video about this pastor, or this ex-pastor for Hillsong Church, Carl Lentz. So a lot of people are like, I mean, this guy, first of all, let me just say, this guy is a fake, phony Christian. He's not a Christian. He's actually a servant of the devil. But that aside, okay, I'm going to set that aside. Let's pretend he's some kind of real pastor. He's some kind of real man of God or something like that for a second. So he had this mistress. I think this occurred 3 years ago or something. That's how he lost his position in Hillsong. He had this mistress, that was his nanny. And I guess his wife found out about it, and it devastated their family, and they went into seclusion for the past 3 years, and now they're coming out of seclusion. He's probably going to start up a church or a podcast or do something. And but, you know, what nobody's talking about is what happened to the girl? What happened to the nanny? Because, you know, he left her, he discarded her, and his wife, I guess, took him back, which that's a whole nother topic I need to break down too. But nobody cares about this young lady who probably fell in love with him, okay? Potentially got pregnant, potentially had an abortion. I'm not saying she did, I don't know. But nobody cares about this. Nobody talks about this, right? All everybody wants to talk about, oh, it was an affair. He had an affair on his wife. He's such a bad man. Okay? This is called monogamy only. That's the society we live in this monogamy only society where a man can only have one wife, right? But he can have mistresses. He can abort children. He can be a closet homosexual while he's married. All these things no one cares about. Nobody cares about the nanny. Nobody cares about what happened to her. This young lady that got discarded back into society, now with another body count, you know, maybe she was a virgin. Now she's got a body count, okay? Now she's been defiled because he won't care for her. He won't take care of her. Now, yeah, he may pay some settlement, right? He may get in a situation where he has to pay out $1 million or a couple $1 million or something. But that's not caring for her, okay? Caring for her is making her your wife, being with her till the day you or she dies, whichever comes first. Okay, that's the way Yah, the Creator, intended it to be. Once you go into a woman, you become one flesh. Now she belongs to you. But monogamy only says you have to kick this woman out, or your current wife has to file a divorce against you and take half of your wealth, and you'll probably end up losing the first one in the process of all this disaster, right? When everything would be so much better if he would just say, hey, I found a second wife. You're going to live with us now. She was the nanny. What kind of a better situation is that? Okay, your second wife already knows her job is to take care of the children, right? While you're out making a living, maybe your wife's helping you, maybe your first wife's helping you sell books or whatever it is you're doing, okay? Now this could be a great, big, happy family running peacefully. But no, because society says monogamy, and I guarantee anything that Carl Lentz himself would rebuke the idea of having a second wife. The very man that is going to fornicate with a young lady, maybe potentially take her virginity, potentially impregnate her, potentially make her have an abortion, that very man would not hesitate to give a sermon against having a second wife and tell you how evil it is. Even though I've never met one person that can tell me where in the Bible does it say it's a sin. Not one place in the entire Bible does it call having a second wife a sin. Does it call polygyny a sin? Not one place. You will not find it. Not one place is any man rebuked for having a second wife. Now, a man does get rebuked for taking another man's wife. Okay, but that man that took another man's wife, King David, and he got rebuked for that, did his 17 wives at the time, or his other 16 women, divorce him? Right? Did they make a big deal? Did he have to go into seclusion with his other 16 wives? No, it was none of their business. It was none of their business what he was up to, what he was doing. He's the man. He's the lion. He's the rooster, right? The other lionesses don't get to have a say, and if he takes another lion, if the lion takes another lioness in. The other chickens don't get to have a say if the rooster takes another chicken in. It's none of their business. It's between him and his creator and the other man whose wife he stole if he steals another man's wife. That's it. If Carl Lentz chooses to take another woman into his life, into his family, that's between him and his creator. It's got nothing to do with his current wife. And see, that's the problem with this matriarchal system that we live in. The man is no longer a masculine head figure, okay? The man has been put under the woman. And this is all calculated. And here's the problem. The problem is the Christian pastors, the Christian leadership, and they're not even real Christians. I'm going to tell you right now. Now, I'm not saying all of them aren't, because I think some different Christians can be at different stages in their development, can have different callings by Yah. Yah can have one person focused on one issue, another person focused on another issue. He happens to have me focused on polygyny because of the things I've come through, because of the truths that he's given me over the years, that's pointed me to this, that's shown me this. So this is something I'm hyper-focused on because it's part of my calling. Somebody else might be focused on another area, and they're hyper-focused on that. Now, they might not agree with me, and I may or may not agree with them, but that doesn't mean we all have to have the same perfect, exact doctrine as I do. I know I have perfect doctrine, right? Because we can pray for each other, and we can say, oh, Yah, please show this person that these things that I'm speaking are truth, right? And it doesn't, just because somebody doesn't agree with us doesn't mean, oh, they're definitely going to hell or they're hellbound because they don't have this truth. No, because at some point we're all going to have the truth. We're all going to have the total truth, right? There are truths that I don't know yet. I'm not saying I know all truth, okay? What I'm saying is the truth I know is perfect. And I leave myself open for Yah to correct me and change me at any given moment he wants to. Now, I will not let another man, I will not let another woman change me, okay? One of the things my wife used to say was, I can't believe you won't you told me you won't change. No, I won't change. I won't change for you. I won't change for this man who calls himself my pastor. I won't change for this judge, for this government, for this president. I won't change for any person on this earth. But I will change for Yah. If he asks me to change, if he shows me something, it's part of my daily prayer. Make me who you want me to be, Creator, and I will be that person. All you have to do is let me know. So, yes, I believe the truth that I have is 100% true, is perfect, but I am open to the Creator showing me different. But every time he shows me something, he confirms it, reaffirms it over and over and over, points me to people, so I have great discernment. I can tell. I can listen to a false pastor and pick it apart within a second, and I can listen to a true pastor and say, that's a man of God. That's a true man of God, right? It's like Leonard Ravenhill. True man of God. Yeah, did he observe Christmas? Absolutely, he observed Christmas. But in his time, we didn't have the knowledge that we have now. Knowledge is increasing exponentially in our day and age, okay? So I'm not going to hold that against a pastor from the 1980s, right? That he didn't have this knowledge. Everybody was celebrating Christmas in the 1980s, right? In the 1990s. In the early 2000s, this information has come about, so now we know. It's the pastors that are celebrating it now with all this truth, with all this information. Even if they're celebrating it and they're not saying anything, I know I'm off course, but that's okay. It's my video. I can do what I want. Even if they're celebrating it, but they kind of keep it to themselves, that I'm not going to give them a hard time. But if they're out there telling people, going out of their way to promote Christmas, then I know they're a worker of iniquity, because they have knowledge and now they're promoting it. So they're a worker of iniquity. And by the way, that's what a worker of iniquity is. Some people say, oh, a worker of iniquity is a sinner, right? And God hates all sinners. I don't agree with that. I don't think God hates all sinners. I think that he gives grace to many sinners, and he loves a lot of sinners, but I think there are sinners he hates. And the ones he hates are the workers of iniquity. What is a worker of iniquity? Somebody whose job or occupation or goals are to cause other people to sin. So let's say you work at an abortion clinic. Okay? You are working in the job of sin. You're a worker of iniquity, right? So, but yeah, getting back to the Carl Lentz thing, getting back to polygyny, Carl Lentz, like I said, he's a bad man, I believe. I believe he's a worker of the devil. I believe he's a worker of iniquity. He is a worker of iniquity. His job is to lead people down a false path. Okay? But that aside, setting that aside, by taking another woman into his bed, in and of itself was not a sin. The true sin came when he expelled her. When he said, oh, I got caught by my wife, now I must let you go. Now I must release you back into society, having had a man inside of you. Now, her odds of having a successful marriage have greatly decreased because he's gone inside of her, assuming, he jizzed in her, right? I like to say that because I know it offends people. And sometimes it's good to offend people. So, yeah, all he had to do is say, I'm marrying her. I'm going to marry her. Now, if his first wife gave him heck about that, and of course, see, in our society, the legal system puts women in control of men, and that's the problem with the legal system. That's why I don't agree with marrying a woman legally. I'll never do that again. Okay, maybe I would if I married a foreigner, and the only way to get her where I'm at is to marry her legally, so she could get her legal documentation to come here. But more than likely, I'd rather just go wherever she is. But that's the only example. That's the only exception to marrying a woman legally. I had somebody say, "Oh, if you're married legally, you're not married at all." And that's not true, because you can be married legally and you can be married lawfully. To be married lawfully, all you have to do is go into the woman. You can maybe have a ceremony, but really once you go into her, you're married, right? So I'm getting a little off course here, but I just wanted to say Carl Lentz, in and of itself, didn't do anything wrong by taking another woman. That's fine. There's no problem with that. Nowhere in the Bible does God say anything is wrong with taking another wife, taking another woman. It's when you take the wife of another man. It's when you go into a woman and then you send her back out into society. That's what God hates. That's what angers God. All right, God bless.